So here I'm just showing the templates that I've already cut out, the glitter HTV as well as the rhinestone templates that'll be going on the 24-ounce Starbucks Venti tumblers. So right now I'm just taking the actual rhinestone templates off the backing and just placing them onto my dry erase board. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and pour the rhinestones out and brush those into the template. And so there is the tumbler wrap as well as the wrap for the top of the lid and then the outer edge of the lid as well. So there'll be 3 different templates to complete this entire tumbler. And just smoothing everything down, making sure that everything is smooth so no rhinestones go underneath any of the templates, just making sure everything's sticking to the board. And you want to pour a good amount of rhinestones onto the templates and then just start brushing those on there in like a kind of a bit of a circular motion. You don't have to use too much pressure. As you're brushing the stones, they will flip and turn over and automatically fall into the holes. If you're feeling there's not enough stones, definitely pour on more. The more the better, the easier and quicker they'll fall into the holes. If you kind of sweep your stones in just like one particular motion, whichever way the stones are going, any ones that are left, they'll pretty much just slide right off without messing up any of the other stones that have already fallen into the holes. So just brush those straight down. And same thing I'm doing here for the lid part. And as I'm brushing away the remainder of the stones, I'm also just going over and trying to fill in the stones for the outer edge of the tumbler, or of the top for the tumbler. So I'm just sweeping the stones all to the side, so then I'll be able to get my heat transfer tape onto each of the 3 pieces that I have without any additional stones getting stuck on the tape. So I just like to move those off to the side. And so now, even though you can't see it on camera, I'm actually just grabbing some tape so I can go ahead and size that up or measure it towards the templates, and then cut it so I can peel it and get it stuck against the rhinestones. And so here is actually after everything has been pressed, the HTV glitter as well as the rhinestones onto the actual decal template material. So now what I'm going to do, I try to size everything so all 3 templates will fit onto one piece of my template material. And then from there, I just kind of cut everything off separately. And then I'll start to cut it down to size pretty much right around where the actual decal starts. You don't want to have too much of the material left on there, otherwise you'll be able to see that on your cup. And so here I'm just cutting right along the edge of where the actual template begins without leaving any extra or excess of the decal template material. And you definitely want to take your time here. Just make sure you're getting it close enough. Don't rush. And so with this template, I actually didn't have it where it would cut out the hole around the logo. So I'm just going in with an X-Acto knife and just carefully taking my time and cutting that out in that circle. And I'm just going in to get any little pieces that, I may have missed or anything like that. Any jagged edges, just making sure that I have that smooth, and the same with the top where the hole for the straw is. Okay, so we're all good there. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the lid, and I'm just gonna size it up before I peel the backing off. As you can see, it's just the backing that just peels right off. And actually, before I do that, I realized that I need to get my water bottle so I can just spray the top a little bit. That way, if I need to readjust the actual template after I put it on, once I put water on there, it'll give me that option to kind of move it around a little bit without it automatically adhering to the top. And once you find your perfect alignment, then just go ahead and press it down. And then I'm just going to go ahead and peel the backing off for the edge of the lid. And just spraying the back of that, just in case I need to lift up or remove and readjust the lid. And sorry, that was off camera, but I'm actually I have it placed on the lid, and I'm just guiding it around the edge of the lid, right in between my two fingers, right between my thumb and my index finger. So I'm just using that as a guide just to make sure it is where it needs to be placed. And so that went on with no issues. So now I'm going to do the same with the tumbler, and I'm just taking my wrap and just aligning it, just making sure everything lines up and, you know, where exactly I want to have it placed. So then what I'm going to do is go ahead and take just some of the backing paper off, and I'm going to only leave just the middle of the template exposed. So that way the backing paper will still be on both ends, and then just the middle portion of the template will be exposed, which you'll see here shortly. And that way that'll allow me to position and make sure everything is where it needs to be before I just commit to putting the entire wrap on the tumbler. And so I'm just cutting this one side off, and then I'm going to go ahead and just size it up as far as how much that I need, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the other piece off and then just place that back on the template. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get my water bottle and just lightly spray it. You don't have to soak it. You just need a few pumps, and just make sure that it is lightly sprayed, as well as the tumbler. And I'm actually going to go ahead and grab my tumbler holder, and that way I can just lay it down and work with it that way, which will make it a little bit easier. And you're just lining up that centerpiece just to make sure your logo is where you need it, and just make sure that where your tumbler, as far as the top part and the bottom part, is where you want the template to be. And once I have it where I need it, then I'm just gonna go and kind of make sure both ends, even with the backing paper still on, is where I want it. And then from there, I'll pull off that first backing and go ahead and stick that to the tumbler, but not the edge. I won't press the edge all the way down. And then I'll pull off that second piece and do the same process as far as just lining it up. So here I'm just pulling it back a little bit, and I'm just kind of pulling it to line it up with the other side. And then that's when I'll go ahead and press down both sides to make sure the seam is seamless. And here I'm just pressing it down, just applying pressure, just to make sure everything is lined up perfectly and there's no gaps or openings or anything like that. And while using the water method to apply any type of decal or vinyl or anything like that, it usually takes about an hour or two for it to fully dry, and your adhesive will go back to being as sticky as it was previously. So just give it a little bit of time to dry out, and your adhesive will definitely go back to being very sticky. And here's the finished tumbler, and it'll be another video or another picture in just a second showing a up close view of the tumbler. But it turned out really, really good. And here's the close-up. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, please ask below, and thanks so much for watching.